Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing a little something different. It's going to be dealing with solar energy, where you can get your power from DC and AC power from solar. Okay. Okay, now that we got our board cut, we can go on inside and mount the stuff for our project. I'll tell you about what's in the back of this truck here. I had recently bought a forge online. I'm not a blacksmith, I don't claim to be one, I'm not going to play one on YouTube, but I just wanted to try it out. I've seen people do it and I said I want to make a knife. So I ordered it yesterday. Should be here around my birthday, which is about 2-3 weeks away. And these bars I got from where I work at the mill. Not quite sure what kind of steel they are, but just to practice on, I'm gonna cut them down maybe 6 inches off of this, and I'm gonna make a couple knives. And they're nothing I'm gonna sell, nothing I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna see if I can learn the process and learn how to do it and just tinker with it for a while before I get into it big time. That's what those bars are for a later project on in this month. So I might film my first attempt at it. It may be a fail, it may be a success. I don't know yet, but that's part of life. If you don't fail, you don't learn nothing. Let's go ahead and take this in. Okay, now that we're inside, I want to talk about what and all we got right here. This is a power inverter. This is a 5,000 watt power inverter. What this does is give you your AC power, your 110, your 220 volts. We're going to hook this up. I'll show you how to do that. This right here is your DC power. This gives you your 12 volt power. If you want to hook a 12 volt appliance up to it, you can hook a 12 volt refrigerator or freezer or something like that. If it runs off 12 volts, this will run it. I like listening to music. Later on, when I get a house, I want to use this to put a radio in my house because I'm like that. I love music and I love the radio. So this right here is your little fuse block. It's got a little trip in it. If it messes up, it'll kick out. If there's a problem between here and here, this is your positive, which goes to your positive. Back to this. These are all your positive areas on your fuse block here. These are all your negatives. If you want to hook it up for this one, you put one here and here. That's your positive and negative. Moving on over to here, this is your charge controller. This is what your solar panels hook up to. Your solar panels go in here, positive and negative, and your battery goes in these sections right here, positive and negative. This is a hammer crimp that we're going to use for the 6 gauge and 4 gauge wire. I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. And we'll go ahead and get started. I know what brought this video up. I was talking to a buddy of mine at work about this project, and he said he'd like to see it and that I should film it. So I'm going to go ahead and film all this and see what comes of this. I know I've seen another YouTuber do it, and it worked out pretty good for him. And the reason you want this layout, so all your wires that are coming from your fuse block here for your DC power can have some way to travel. And the same with this, all these are going to travel to each other. This is your positive, so we'll unscrew. It's a little tight. I'll get everything loose before I bolt everything down. These are loose. We're going to need some screws and some washers. You'll find out which area works best for you, where you want it to be. And I think this right here would be the best layout, because it won't have too far to travel for each connection. So we'll go ahead and bolt all these down. Now you got everything bolted down where you want it. We'll go ahead and run our positive wires to where we want our positive wires to go. We'll run one from here to here, and we'll see what length we'll need. What we'll do is we'll set one up right here, and we will need us a marker. We want it to come out like this. And from here, we're going to mark where we want our terminal. This is our terminal connector for our 4-gauge wire here. We're going to set that right there. We're going to mark where we want to cut it. See where this is on here. We're going to mark it right here for the length. And then we're going to mark it right here for the cut. This wire right here. And we can use this to strip the wires too. We'll just take it and twist. And that should come right off of there. Perfect. Now's the fun part where we get to beat on something. This goes right there, and you want this to come exactly where you cut off. See, that's it can't go no further. You want the plastic to meet where that ends right there. So we're going to take this outside and we're going to show you how to crimp it. I didn't mention in there, you got to take and see which way it's oriented. If you got this one flat on your fuse block where your DC power is, and you got this one flat, then that's perfect. But if you got this oriented in a different way, and if it's longer, you have to put it the way you want it oriented on your panel. Ours is flat, so we'll just put them flat. We got a little helper out here today. Hey, Midnight. We'll go down here on the cement. You just want to help, don't you? Alright, you want something solid to hit on? Yeah, I know you're there. And then you want this straight. Back up, Midnight. And you start hitting it, but you want to make sure that it's oriented the way you want it. And then you just You'll hear a change when it starts to. It's there. You see now all this is crimped together. Perfect. It's a little bit off, but you can always twist the wire a little bit. And then there's your connection. We'll have to do this, I think, 2 more times. Now that we're back in here, we can go ahead and put our connections on. Oh, wrong way. Better. See how this hole's a little bit bigger? So we're going to use another washer. That way to cover more surface area. I know it's got a washer on the nut itself, but it's better safe than sorry. I'll go ahead and put this down. And then this one I'm not going to tighten up just yet because I still got work to do from here to here. So your next connection we're going to make on your positive wires. That's why I left this one off. We're going to go from it up to here. So we're going to try to orient our wire to bend up and then over where to be kind of flat. So we're going to cut it off right here. And we'll just do the same trick we did earlier. Just twist it back and forth. And that should come right off. And we'll go do our trick over. I will spare you the dirty bits of that one, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm gonna leave this bigger end for the connector on the inverter, and then I'm gonna run this end down here. We'll go ahead and tie that one together, because that's where that's going to go. And this one's going to connect right under here. We'll just move that down a little. We'll connect that there. We got another positive connector to do from here to here. So we'll just use this 12-inch one and connect it from here, which will need a washer. And we'll put this one on first. There we go. Ratchet messed up on me for a minute. You don't want to tighten it down too tight. Because they are smaller. Well, if my ratchet would work, it would do fine. Thought it was working, but it wasn't. Okay. Now you got that connection put in. We want to go ahead and connect these to this. You want to make sure it's got a good flat connection when you put them on. So your positive lines are almost complete. You still got one more step for your positive wires. Your next positive wire is going to go from your circuit breaker here to your charge controller. Before we do that, we'll go ahead and bolt this sucker down. Got some screws. My dad found some. I hope I don't screw it to the table. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. Wow.
What did it break?
Yeah, but it'd be alright. I'm not going to tighten the next one that tight.
Maybe not.
Now that we got all these positive wires from this side that's carrying the heavy load on, these are all 4-gauge wires. We're going to break it down to a 6 to go to our charge controller. And you want this wire, your positive wire, to go right here. You want to wind this out as far as you can get it. And that'd be right there. Alright. We're going to measure. And we're going to cut it right here. There it goes. And we'll just tighten that down onto it. So all your positive wires are done now. It goes 4-gauge, 4-gauge, 4-gauge. Then you got your 6-gauge wire that goes into your charge controller. Now we're going to hook up all our negative lines. Okay. We'll tighten this connector down. And this will go here. Now we got to run one from here to here on the fuse block, which I'm thinking this one right here will reach, and it does. So we'll just go up under here to that and to this. Now we got these 2 wires ran. We're going to take the wire that's going to the battery, this big wire, and we're going to put it right up under here. Now that you got your negatives connected, we'll go ahead and work on our positive wire that's coming from the battery, which goes right here.
Ground some oil, buddy.
I believe so. I don't got no grinder. But we'll talk about this part on a separate video. This goes to the positive on your battery, which hooks up to right here. I'll go ahead and explain how the rest of it works. Your power comes in, and this converts it over from your battery power, which is DC, over to AC, and that's all your electrical appliances. You can use all that runs on 110. You can use up to 220. It's a 5,000 watt continuous volts, and that'll pretty much power whatever you got. We got a little experiment we want to do with this right here. We want to set it up and see if it'll run our well. We want to change all this over out there and with the solar panels that we hook up right over to this. You put your positive from your solar panels in and your negative from your solar panels. So this is just temporary for the time being, so I can show you guys what you could use. This is from Harbor Freight. We bought this offline from Harbor Freight. They didn't have it in the store. We had to buy it offline. And we bought this offline too. With this, you can put in whatever. Let's see where are they? Whatever fuse that your appliance calls for, you can put one of these fuses in. Whether it be a 10, I can't open them right now. I don't know what's going on with it. But whether it be a 10, a 30, and then you can wire them up and run your DC 12 volt systems off of this right here. That's pretty much the setup we got going right now. It's all your wires from your DC will run up this way, and you'll take little hose clamps and clamp it to here. So all your wires will run this direction for your DC, and all your AC will run whichever way, out this way, because this is where what throws out your power from the back here at the back. The back of this is what throws out all your 110. You got your plugins. You got 4 plugins here, and you got USB outlets too. You can run all this to your whatever, your little tiny house, whatever you want to power, RV, camper, anything that you want to take off the grid. And once you get the solar panels, they pretty much pay for themselves. And with this setup, you can run either power source, DC or AC. We're going to test it out in an upcoming video. We will have more content coming out with this. And that guy ain't got out to the land yet to put the road in, but he did say within the next 2 weeks. Maybe by the end of this coming week, he will put that road in, and we will have access to get down there and actually get to our property where we want them. And this is going to help out. This one is not my system. This one is all Dad's system. He's getting him another charge controller, and I'm getting me one. I'm getting all my stuff prepared too, because when I get up there, I'm going to try to get as much off the grid as I can. And I hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe if you're new. We got more content coming out of testing this out. We're going to test it on a well pump that we got around back, and hopefully it'll run it. And just stay tuned to check out for future videos and future content. There is one thing I left out. If you're running this on the side of a building, you want to put this in the ground for like a ground fault line. You're going to run it from here straight to your ground fault, which is in the earth. If you're running it in an RV or a van or anything that you want to take off grid, that's 12 volt system like that, you want to run it from the same spot over to your fuse block and put it in one of these negative terminals. That way it won't short nothing out. Another thing you want to do that I didn't do on here, I am going to do, you'll see it on the next video. I'm going to take where all these wires are bare, I'm going to take electrical tape and I'm going to tape them up where if I drop a wrench or something on it, it won't short circuit it. And I hope this was helpful to all of you. I hope that you learned something while I learned something. I know I'm a visual and a hands-on learner, so when I seen that guy do his video on this, I just said I have to try this out and see if this actually works. So I'm glad that we got all this stuff. I'm really excited to see what all this is going to do and what we can run off of it and how long it'll run. So we're going to test out on a few different things. Maybe an air condition that's out there, we're going to see how long it'll run the air condition and how continuously it'll go on a full day charge. So we'll let it charge up a whole day, let it set that night, and that morning we're going to let it run on that air condition as long as we can let it run. And if it can run for a continuous 12 hours, this is golden. And this is something that I will love to have. But I'm going to get it anyway. I know if you hook up more batteries, more solar panels, the more batteries, more solar panels you have, the more watts and more amperage you're going to get out of this system. So I've done a lot of studying before I jumped into this. I know Dad has done a lot of it too. He's the one that told me a lot about this. And he showed me the video about this guy. And it was really informational the way he explained it on there. So I think this guy lives in a RV. So this is what he uses on his system. He's got a couple videos about how he sets this up and how it works. If you want more details about how it works, I'll put a link to his video in the show notes below. So go check his channel out. And we will catch all you guys on the next one. Y'all have a nice one. Bye.